because also I was still at a young age that, I was wondering, why me? Why am I the one in this wheelchair? And, I saw kids and adults going through um, a tougher time than I was, and it just made me more grateful for the person that I became, and stuff like that. And Jamie, you want to talk about time in your life now?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to, before I talk about myself, I just wanted to, hearing you talk about that, I wanted to comment on, what I was gathering from what you were saying. So, it seems to me, and you can correct me if I'm off base or if I'm a little wrong, but from what I was gathering, and I think I know you well enough to say this,
Mm-hmm.
um, when when you were going through that, it kind of empowered you because you saw the community coming together and it gave you a sense of belonging.
Yes.
Okay, so when when a community like the one you lived in your entire life, and I've lived in Scituate for 20 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 26 and I moved here when I was 6.
And again, I live in Hingham.
And how long have you lived in Hingham?
All of my 29 years so far.
Okay, so if you lived in a community all of your life for 29 years, and then you see them coming together to support you, I can only imagine the feeling that gives you as a person to know that a community is rallying around you to make sure that, hey, this kid knows that whatever he goes through, that this community and that this town is behind him.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's one of the basic human needs is like, okay, I feel important, I feel valued, I feel loved, and I feel like I belong. So, like, us being local kids from Hingham and Scituate, it's great to see all the stuff that Hollywood is doing, all the stuff that, people in amazing positions of influence are doing. But, Dave sharing that story, it just shows that people close to home, people in our local communities can do great things to support each other. And I think that goes unnoticed because the most people who have, the most Twitter followers or the most Facebook likes, those are the people that get the most attention. Those are the people that, get the 2 million followers on Instagram. And it's like, it's unfortunate because people locally are doing great things. People locally are having powerful moments in their life. And they don't get as much attention because we are who we are. We're just the average Joes. But like we said last week, we're just two kids, and it could be a lesson to all of you who want to make a positive impact. You don't have to have the couple thousand Twitter followers. You don't have to be the most popular person on Instagram. You don't have to be like a Hollywood person. You could just be a person with a conscience, a person with a powerful message, a person who cares, a person who's genuine. It doesn't matter. And I think that the story that Dave just shared with us just illustrates that.
Yes, it does.
And I think it's great that the local community embraces us and gives us a lot of opportunities. And it's important that in the time of need that people band together to support each other.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I think I've had sort of the same experience. Um, I I'm gonna share something that is very personal to me, and I'm not gonna go too much into it because it is what it is. But recently, it has been 4 years since my brother passed, and I had the same sort of feeling with like Dave. When the community comes and supports you and comes around and makes sure that people are driving forward, people are making the best out of every day, and that's all you really can do, right? You can only make the best out of every day. You can only put your best foot forward,
Right.
and you can only that's all pretty much. That's all anybody can ever ask of you is to do the best you can. And I know that Dave mentioned when people are there for you, when people make you feel like you belong, you want to say, okay, how do I say thank you? And sometimes you really can't measure up. You can't make yourself feel like, okay, I paid them back. But you can only do the best you can, like with anything else. And I know I just keep saying that, but it's really just true. I mean, if somebody does you a kindness, the best thing you can do is okay. You can say that somebody just did me a kindness, so you take that and you say, how can I double this? How can I triple this? How can I roll this into something that is bigger than myself? And sometimes you don't need 1,000 Twitter followers to do that. Sometimes you just need a little something to make somebody's day just a little bit better.
Yes. And another time I would like to talk about that was also very empowering to me was I believe it was my junior year of college. I went to Eastern Nazarene in Quincy. That it was right towards the end of the baseball regular season, and we had to win our last game against I believe Salve Regina to make the playoffs, and I really wanted to go, and it was an away game. It was in Rhode Island, and the whole baseball team raised enough money for a bus driver that could drive the big bus and knew how to tie me down, and I really appreciated that because it was the first time really anyone other than my family was able to take me somewhere where I really wanted to go, like the baseball playoffs. And because in high school, when I was helping out with the baseball team and football teams, my dad would always drive me. I never went with the actual team, but not to say I didn't feel like a part of the team back in those days, but it just showed that I was making an impact in people's eyes. That in college, that my friends really wanted me to get to this game, and I'll never forget that feeling. And it was my college homecoming this past weekend, which brought back some great memories, and I will always be thankful for all my college friends that come and visit me that don't live in this area. They live pretty much everywhere, California, Pennsylvania, and other places like that. And they know how hard it is for me to travel from place to place. So it's just knowing that there are people out there like that that will help help me just go to the enjoyment of, watching a baseball game and the small things. I really did appreciate it. And that's why I always try to make someone happy in any way that I can. Jamie.
Yeah. So, wow, that story actually made me very emotional. Because I know what it's like also. The more I hear you talk, Dave, I understand with each word that comes out of your mouth. I understand why we're friends.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why I understand why I get you. Because there's a lot of reasons why people with disabilities could feel bad for themselves, or could throw up the white flag,
Mm-hmm.
so to speak. But we don't. We don't want to. And shout out to the Eastern Naz baseball team, because there's just a group of people sometimes, occasionally, that shows up in our lives that just get it. And you can't put a price on the fact that some people, they just understand. And I don't know, like, if it takes some sort of special people to do that, or maybe it just takes some sort of understanding. But I remember way back, not really way back, but in our first episode, we talked about sympathy and empathy, and how empathy is about understanding. And I think that's the underlying message here. Dave had a group of guys that understood what it would mean to him to be a part of something. And they made sure it would happen. And I know what it's like to be a part of something like that too. I will share a story coming up in the next few minutes, but I just wanted to, take a few moments to recognize the Eastern Naz baseball team, because, you guys doing something like that for my friend, it's a big deal, not only for him, but for me. Because I love him. And I want him to be happy.
Love you too, bro.
I want him to be happy. And it's a big deal for me to hear that. So, I don't think that people understand how much courage it takes for somebody to share a story. To share a story that's so honest. So I really hope that people are appreciating that, you're able to open up. And I know this is your only third episode, or third time even being in front of a camera. So I think that it takes a lot of courage to share that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of busted him up last week about his camera presence. So he's trying to make a rebound here.
Yep.
But yeah. I think for me now, I had a similar experience, and we're gonna get into how sports has affected our lives, mostly in a positive way. That was a little preview, at least on Dave's part, about how sports has affected his life. But quickly for me, I was a part of the Situate basketball team from 2006 until 2010, when I was a freshman and all the way up until I was a senior.